Good morning and welcome to a windy spring day in the legislature. We have moved into spring. Obviously the session's getting long and we're not sure how much longer it's going to go, but we do know we've got a lot of work left to do. We've accomplished a lot of our simple plan legislation. We now have 5 bills that are law, and we've got several bills that are in the process of becoming law. SB2, the voter ID bill, has been on the governor's desk. I believe the time limit expires this afternoon, whether he will either veto the bill, whether he will sign it, or whether he will just allow it to become law. So we should find out this afternoon what the future status is on SB2 and voter ID in the state of Arkansas. We've got some e-bills on educational excellence. Representative Viviano's bill with the charter school authorizer is in the works. A couple of Medicaid reform bills. I believe we'll be seeing even more Medicaid reform bills as we move forward, and we'll start hitting that harder this week. As you're aware, there's been a lot of talk about income tax. Representative Collins has bills out there addressing the income tax. We've got several legal reform bills that are in the process. Representative Branscombe, Representative Andy Davis, both got bills passed out of the House last week that will have important impacts on regulatory reform down the road and should help to make Arkansas a more business-friendly place for companies to do business here and to start and expand businesses. I think the issue that most people are interested in today is on the private insurance option. And just to start with, I'll say that, repeat something that my colleague Charlie Collins said over the weekend, that there is no Medicaid expansion in Arkansas. No plan that we're looking at will add beneficiaries to the existing Medicaid program. The plans we're looking at will be plans that will reform the existing Medicaid system. They're plans that will provide health coverage through private insurance options, and I still reiterate that these are only options. I know the governor put out a draft of the bill on Friday. This was a piece of, or a document that was put together by the governor's office and by the administration. We took it over the weekend, and I will say we marked it up and made quite a few changes to it. Our House Caucus still hasn't seen this bill. I don't believe the Senate has seen all the revised language that we put in the bill, and there can still be more revised language that goes into the bill. I don't believe the bill that was presented on Friday is one that our House Caucus could accept, but I think we're working on options on that bill that could possibly make it more acceptable. Again, we're not in a big rush to pass something and get out of here. We want to do it right. We want to make sure we understand what's going on with the legislation, and if it is a viable program that's going to reform the system, that's going to provide a pathway to get people off of government assistance, and it's going to be something that's less costly than straight up Medicaid expansion. The proposal that DHS has come up with so far is getting a lot of national attention, and they're still saying it could be 10 to 15% more costly than just straight up Medicaid expansion. I know DHS is working on projections this week to look at the different options that are out there. Obviously, one option is that we do nothing. The do nothing option does have some cost to it because it puts everybody between 100 and 138% of the poverty level onto the health insurance exchange. The other option is just a straight up Medicaid expansion like the administration and DHS have been pushing until, as Republicans, we slowed the process down. We looked at different alternatives. We tried to think outside the box and be innovative, and that leads to option 3, which I believe DHS tried to cover in their initial bill draft, but it's still, in my opinion, we're not to an acceptable level. We will continue to work on that. We have a caucus meeting today where I can get more feedback from our caucus. This information changes so rapidly that it's hard even to keep our own folks updated. Some of the things that we want to see in the legislation is to make it clear that Eligible individuals who are enrolled in the program will affirmatively acknowledge that the program is not a perpetual federal or state right, a guaranteed entitlement, and is subject to cancellation upon appropriate notice or a waiting list. Eligible individuals will affirmatively acknowledge that this is not an entitlement program and federal Medicaid rules shall not apply. This will be a program that's custom tailored to Arkansas. It is a program that we can pass. The one thing that the administration would like to have from us is the passage of the appropriation for whatever happens with our healthcare program in the state. We will not be rushed into passing that appropriation. There's a scenario where we could pass an appropriation to keep DHS operational at the same level they operated at previously. We could pass a bill, put it in DHS and the administration's hands to make the components of that bill come to reality. And if they can, and they need an additional appropriation, then the governor could call us back in to approve that appropriation. I want to stress that we're not going to be pushed, we're not going to be rushed, and we're not going to make a bad decision on something that's literally a multi-billion-dollar decision for our state. It could be the largest contract that our state has, and we want to get this one right. With that, I'll take questions.
I mean, you mentioned push and rush. How do you define that? I mean, you know, one person's push can be the other person's slow movement.
Well, we got I think a rushed copy of the bill draft, which was, not very detailed at all on Friday. We're getting here close to April, and there's just a lot of questions that have to be answered. We don't even have the numbers back from DHS on what these different options cost. They say the actuaries are working on that, and we should have something this week. So I'm personally not in any position to say this is a good deal or a bad deal. We've got to talk to our members who have a lot of questions, and we just won't be rushed on making this decision.
You mentioned marking up the bill. Can you give us an example of other changes or things that you want to see in the bill?
Well, the bill that DHS put out talks about a silver plan as a qualified health plan. We believe there should be other options on that. We want to see a program that causes beneficiaries to have more skin in the game, participants on the private option, and even if that's where they have a higher deductible and their deductible is funded through a health savings account or a medical savings account, some way that they can manage that money and possibly even if they can save that money, they can use it for things like workforce training or education or other activities that will help to move them out of that lower income bracket and eventually also government health system. So we don't want to just make a private insurance option that strictly duplicates what a Medicaid program would cover.
Can you give us other examples?
Well, the acknowledgement that it's not an entitlement program, that's one of the major things.
Would that just constitute somebody signing a piece of paper saying, okay?
That would require a Health and Human Services degree for that. And, well, and
First
then
beneficiary.
the participants acknowledging that when they sign up for the program. And obviously, the program could go away at any time with changes in funding from the federal government. So we don't want to initiate a program and then the funding go away and the state gets stuck with the funding for a program that was there because of federal funding in the first place.
You talked about not passing an appropriation bill this year. Is there any concern that could be seen in some of the mandates that the department creates this program, but we're not going to use money to do it?
Well, we could pass the appropriation for the Department of Human Services, just not at the level that would be needed to fully implement the program until we have all the details of the program worked out and have all the sign-off from Health and Human Services.
So I guess under that plan, would you all still pass the legislation laying out the private option? Come back if you get approval from the feds on your
no conceivable way to implement and get all the approvals and the waivers that will be necessary for the private option. So my position, I believe the position of the caucus would be that we would not pass an appropriation for a program that hasn't even been established yet, doesn't have all the details worked out yet. So we could pass an appropriation to allow DHS to continue to function, but not an appropriation to fund a program that doesn't even have all the details worked out yet. We believe that would be a fair approach to allow them to have some time to go and work on the details, to get the waivers, to get the approvals from HHS, and to come back to us when, or for the governor to come back to us when they are ready, and propose a special session if we need to approve an additional appropriation.
Do you think at this point, at the rate y'all are going, do you think it's impossible to take this up during the regular session?
I won't say it's impossible to take it up. I will say it will be impossible to take it up with all the facts and the data that I believe we will need to make a good decision.
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
I said I didn't say it would be impossible to take it up, but I believe it will be impossible to take it up with all the facts and the data that we will need to be able to make an informed decision on the issue.
So the House Caucus believes you need a special session?
Well, I've got a caucus meeting at 11:30, and I'm saying as the leader of the House Caucus, I believe that's the best route forward. I haven't discussed that with the caucus yet, but I should know better by this afternoon their thoughts about that.
And just so I'm clear, has anyone inferred that either the chamber passed an appropriation bill without specifics being laid out? I mean, you mentioned we're not going to do that. I mean, has anyone advocated that particular route?
To pass an appropriation bill to fund DHS at its current level?
No, for what we're talking about with the healthcare, beyond, not just this year, but.
Yeah, if we were going to do something different with healthcare, then it would require an appropriation with more spending in it than what's in the current appropriation or in the previous appropriation. So if we were going to finish up and adjourn and sine die in May, then we would have to pass that appropriation. I'll know more about that after the caucus meeting today. I haven't talked to enough members to really know.
So you'll feel you'll know more after today's caucus meeting, so people may have a comfortable feel for where they are even before going to this meeting today.
I think so after reading the reports over the weekend. But then again, they may want to wait till they go to the joint meeting today to hear more details about it.
On Medicaid, with the idea of a special session, the governor has said that the tax cuts, the tax cut package, so much of it is dependent on the private option, expanding health care. Can you all really reach a consensus or a deal with the governor on tax cuts if you kind of kick the issue of Medicaid down to a special session?
I think we can deal with the tax cuts as a separate issue from Medicaid expansion. The tax cuts deal more with the amount of projected general revenue for next year. And I feel very good where we're at as far as moving forward on the tax cuts. And I don't see where that should be a holdup on anything we do with the private option. If anything we do with health care, I believe that those are areas we've identified where funds are available, where we can work on an issue not of the government entitlement, but on what we can do to make Arkansas a better place for jobs, a better place to recruit businesses, and a better place for existing businesses to expand what they've got. And the way we do that is we put more money back into the pockets of the people who are earning that money. The simple rule of taxing is that the more you tax something, the less you get of it. So we want to be able to send more or allow Arkansas workers to keep more of their hard-earned money in their pockets so they can invest it in the economy, and we can see our economy starting to grow.
The governor said pretty stringently, repeatedly, that the two issues are together. One's not going to be able to happen without the other in the current budget. So I guess, where is the money going to come from if it doesn't come from savings Medicaid expansion?
Well, there's already, we've got a $350 million surplus projected for this year. We're looking at about $220 million in projected growth for next year, so I believe we can find $100 million in tax cuts out of that projected growth. I believe if we need to cover something in Medicaid, we can do it with one-time money out of the $350 million surplus from this year. We could put that into the Medicaid trust fund, and it would be there to be matched with federal dollars and spent as needed.
Just to be clear, you're saying those are completely separate issues, Medicaid expansion and tax.
I believe so at this point.
Well, the speaker has said he'd like to do both together. Michael Lamoureux has said they go hand in hand. Are you on a different page from them then on this issue?
I don't believe we're on a different page. I think we would all like to see all this get worked out at one time, but I don't think one's mutually exclusive.